Hi viewers, and welcome back to the channel, and this is video 2 of 2 of using the Curve Workbench blend tool. So in a previous video we looked at understanding the tool and how you would use it for something like the crown on the left hand side. In this video we're going to be using the blend tool to create the helmet on the right, and we'll be creating this. It's very easy to create, won't take you too long, but the effects are pretty good. So I hope you're enjoying this little mini series. There are many more to come, not only in Curves Workbench but in other workbenches as well. So I'm going to stop waffling now and we're going to have a look at creating this helmet. If you like this video, please hit a like and also subscribe to the channel. I also have a Ko-Fi site where you can actually donate to my contributions to the community, and that's at ko-fi.com/MANG0. So this example is quite a simple example, although it looks quite complex. It's a sci-fi helmet for cosplay, and it has 4 squares in there and a curved surface. And I'm using the blend surface for this one. So we have a square on the temple, one on the forehead, one on the cheek, and one on the chin. And we create a blend surface between those. I've just added some simple detail on top of that. So let's have a look at this example and how you would build this in FreeCAD. To start with, I'm going to go through the individual items of this project. So on the left hand side here, you'll see a number of surfaces that have been hidden. And these are the squares that I've used to connect up these curves. You can see we've got ruled surfaces here, but we can also use a plane. So I'm just going to hide the head and hide the cut for a second. Now I'm going to show you these surfaces. So we have 1 plane, 2 planes, 3 planes, and 4 planes. These are ruled surfaces, but you can do it with a plane. It's just showing you that we can actually change what shape we're doing this with. So these sit like so. And down here we have just some text down here that I added just as a reminder. So I'm just going to hide that one for a second. So we've got these 4 planes here. Now if I bring back the head, you can see where I've positioned them to create the surface. So we've got the one on the forehead there, the one on the cheek, the one on the temple, and the one on the side of the chin. And this just gives us an angle to allow us to create this curve between these surfaces. So I'm going to use the plane, the edge of this one, and create a curve between this and this one here, the plane and the edge, to create a nice flowing curve between them. So for this demonstration, we're going to create a new document, and I'm going to bring in the model of the face. So I've already downloaded this, and we do file import, and I've got a female head model here. It's an OBJ file. I just need to open that and use the alias mesh. I've tried using the wavefront OBJ, but that stalls the FreeCAD and it's no good for what I'm doing at the moment. Just this one is the front of the head. Now there's a link in the description of where I've actually got this from. Some of them are free models that you can download, others you have to pay for, but I've just picked a free model for the head. Now before I was using sketches, but this can be used with planes as well. So we first need to start in the part workbench. I'm just going to come in, and what I want to do is find the places that I want to create a plane between. So I'm going to create a plane here and one here on the cheek. So when I do another plane between them using the Curve Workbench, it will follow the natural curves of those planes and join them together. So I'll be tightly fitting those planes to the cheek and the chin to allow this to actually work. For that, I'm going to come down to the part, and I'm going to use the create primitives. Now I'm just going to use the plane for that one. Now I don't know what scale this is. I think this is coming as quite a small scale, so I'm not worried about the scale here. Also, you can increase the size of your model or decrease the size to whatever scaling you want. So I'm going to try something like 2 mil on here because I know it's quite a small model, and we'll create that and close that. Let's see where that's created. That's created there, and what I'm going to do is right click and transform that into position. And what I want to do is place this right on the edge of that chin. And we need it actually on here. Now what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the edge of this plane to sit round about the middle of the chin, because this is where the actual curve will end on this side here. I'm going to use this edge to end the curve. So in that case, I'm going to bring this over and up like so. And we're going to angle this as well to follow the natural curve of that chin. So I'm going to angle this way. And we'll just bring this back in to touch that chin. May need to decrease our transition increments because we're working at such a small scale. So 0.1. That's better. We'll place that right on that chin. Okay, so that's our first plane in position. And it's about the same size as what I want the helmet chin piece to be as well. So this would be the size of your chin piece, this height of this plane. I'm next going to place one on the side of this cheek here. Let's come up to the creation of privatized geometry. There's a plane there. And we'll change this. I think I'm actually going to keep it at 10. So create that. As you can see, that's a bit too big for the scale that we're at. So we can click on it, come down to here. Let's change it to 5 and this one to 5. Still may be a bit too big, but we'll change that in a minute. Click on the plane, right click, transform, and place that into position. And I want to place it along this cheek here. So bring it around and using these, let's bring it up. And that is, yep, it's a bit too big, so I'm just going to OK that and bring this down to something like 3. Doesn't have to be a complete square, so I'm going to do 3, 5. And it doesn't have to be a square as well. It can be a polygon with 4 sides or 5 sides, depending on where I'm placing these. So I'm using 4 sides because I just want to connect each side up. So this side to this side, and we'll use this side to connect up here as well to the temple. So let's transform that. Transform it into position. Add some rotation to follow the cheek. Push it back a bit. Let's have a look, see how that's looking. And change the size. So come into model, and this width here, I'm going to change to 3 as well. There we go. That's more like it. So that's sitting there like that. Let's put some angle on this to follow that contour and push it up against that cheek. Now when this flows, I can either flow from this edge and connect up, or flow from this edge and connect up to here. If I angle this slightly, then I can get more of a natural flow to flow with that cheek. So it's up to you whereabouts you want this to place, but just remember that these edges will connect up like so. So that's good, I'm happy with that. And come up to task, hit OK. So that's 2 planes done. Create that and close. It's plane 3, right click, transform, move this up, flip it over. I've kind of lost it. Where is it? There it is. Let's bring this back. And place it onto the front of the head there. And remember, we're looking at lining one of the edges up. Around about there. And we're more focused on the edge that we're going to create line from, curved surface from. So I'm going to create it from this line here. And I've used this plane to angle it, because the plane will make the angle. So let's angle it correctly. Push it on. Push it back. Have a look. Let's change this angle to 1. So we've got more control over it. And just bring this in. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. Do for now. So now we've got those planes in position. Let's have a look at this tool. Let's jump over to the Curves Workbench. Now in the Curves Workbench, I can start using the tool. The tool we're going to be using is the blend surface, which creates a surface between two edges with their supporting faces. To use it, we need to select an edge from one plane, or a face, or an object. Select the face, holding down Control, so we'll select the edge first, the face, come over to the other one, select the edge, and then select the face, like so. And then we use the blend surface, and that creates a surface between them. Now you can see how that surface has been created. What we need to do now is just hide these planes because they won't be part of that surface. So you can see how that surface has been created there, and it hugs the head. I've gone into the head there, which I can sort out later. You notice it's actually caught the front of that surface. I don't want that, I actually want the back, so let's bring that back. So I'm just going to get rid of that blend surface, bring the planes back. Now if you're using ruled surfaces here, make sure you hide the sketch, otherwise you're going to get an error. If you use the edge of the sketch rather than the edge of the plane or the ruled surface, then it is not part of that object, it's not part of that edge, and it's not part of that face. It's what's being used to derive that face or that object from there. But when you get to that point, if you're using ruled surface and you find you start getting this error, you'll be able to resolve it through there. So I'm going to click this edge, click this face, go to the back, click the edge, click the face, and we'll create the blend surface across there, or go up to surfaces and blend surface, and that creates our surface across there. And you can see how that's taken that edge there, and now it's taken the back edge, the one that was selected. So edge, face, then over to the other one, edge, face. Let's get rid of those two planes which are highlighted. Hit space, and there's our surface sitting there. And we can transform that if we so desire. Right click, transform, and we'll just bring that forward a bit. There we go. That's one surface done. And I'm going to use that surface to blend into this one as well. So for that one, I'm going to just click this edge here, control click this surface, click this edge here, and control click this surface, and use the blend tool again. You can see we've got a bit of a problem there from the surface that have been selected, so let's get rid of that surface. It's not what I want, so we can do this again. Just delete, and let's click this line, this surface, this line, and this surface, and see what we get. So this is where angling comes in. If you're not keen on the angle, then you can add more squares to allow for a different effect, or use a different side. So I can come in and use the back of this if I so desire, if I'm not happy with this. I'm actually quite happy with the way this has gone. But if I hide that surface, let's take that blend surface, I'm going to edit that one and hide it. If I come off the back, click that surface, control click the edge, and click this surface, and control click the edge, and blend those two, you can see how those are blended together. And we can just hide that plane. So it's up to you what way you want to do it. All depends on what effect you want. I'm quite happy with the other one there. So next one is this one here. So I'm going to take the back of this one because this is where I want the surface to end. Control click plane face, click this face, and control click this edge. And then use blend surface across there. And then hide our plane. So you can see how we made up that surface across there. So all these three. And what we can do is come into the part and we can make these thicker. So I'm going to click this surface here and come up to part and use the 3D offset here. And I'm going to use the minus value in here, make it go outwards. And I'm going to fill that offset like so. So that should fill that. Let's have a look. That's a bit thick, so let's change this to 0.5. Actually 0.25, let's go for that. Working at such a small scale here, so that's fine. Happy with that. Okay, that, and do the other one. Let's blend surface, and we can use it from the toolbar as well. So this one here, drop it down, 3D offset. So that's come up. And looks like we've got a small problem there. Let's cancel that. Let's have a look at that surface. You have problems with doing the actual offset, like you just seen there. What we can do is do an extrude instead. So using this button here, extrude, or come up to part and extrude. And we want to extrude. Let's have a look at a handler down here. Y is towards us, edit up, X is this way. So I want to go minus X. Let's click on X, custom direction, and I'm going to go minus 0.25, and that's extruded along there. That's fine. And I'm going to do the same for this one. Let's just go for extrude on that one as well. And minus 0.25, and we'll do it along the X. And okay that. So that's all extruded out. You get a different effect with the extrude. As you can see, that edge is slightly different there. So if I want to match that up, I'm just going to get rid of that offset. Let's get rid of that. Go to that blend surface and just keep them all the same. Custom, X, and minus 0.25. So you can see how we can build up a helmet there quite easily by using those tools. Those extrudes, we can actually union them all together. Like so. They've got a fusion there. And we can start doing cuts and unions with that. So I'll put a cylinder in, transform this up, rotate this, and then move it into position. And we can do whatever we want with these. in that. I would resize that and take the fusion and the cylinder and do an abstraction out of there like so. So that's the surface and the planes that we can use to create those curved surfaces. So in the next video we'll look at the tool Multiloft, which is available from here, and we'll be looking at creating such models as this. So we're looking at twisted and warped iron in there and how to create this effect. So this effect was created from a Multiloft, a number of sketches that have been extruded through a number of profiles in there. And we'll be going through those in our next video. So if it's not up in the channel, you'll see that next week. I hope to see you in the next video, and I'll see you again soon. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my site. And also I have a Ko-Fi site where you can actually donate a few pence or a few pounds, dollars, or whatever your currency is. And that's at ko-fi.com/mang0. And there you'll be able to help me fund my site, and all the money that I actually get from any funds will actually get pushed back into the channel. Thanks a lot for watching and subscribing. I'll see you next time.